the first thing I do before I jump into color grading is to pop on some tunes. So we're going to go to iTunes to hit up that Justin Bieber for today. So I have all my clips imported into DaVinci Resolve, and I'm just going to click Command A, drag all of them bad boys in. Don't change. File, project settings, and color management. We're going to change this to DaVinci YRGB. Then we'll change these two settings. Now I save time by creating a preset that would do this. It's called standard. So when I click apply, these are the settings that it changes. And it's basically those settings up top, and then change that to tetrahedral, and then make sure that's checked on, and I'm good to go. Next, I will Command A, right click on all of these and click on the clip attributes feature, and then change all of the video frame rates to 23. This is the quickest way to slow down all of your footage. And drag them in, go to the editing tab, delete all of the audio, and these are all the clips I'm going to be working with. Now you can individually go through and chop the beginnings, but I'll take care of that later. All right, now we pull up our color tab, and I look for a hero shot, which basically represents the day, something really close. You can go to Lightbox. That is in the paid version. If you don't have it, that's why. This shot, that has the most of everything in there. You know what? Let's use this one. Okay, that's going to be our hero shot. So I'm going to go to gallery, turn that off, clips, turn that off. If you're editing on a laptop, this will give you some space to work with. So I picked this one because it best represents, if you can see here in the scopes, an image that will represent the rest of the other clips in terms of exposure. As you can see, I slightly exposed to the right using my Infinity LUTs. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is how quick it is. I Command A, right click, and I will add them into a new group. And then I will go to post clip, and I will make 2 nodes, and this one is going to go to 20, and the sharpness will go down to 0.48. That just sharpens it. You can see it here. And then I will right click on this node, go down to LUTs, go to my Infinity grades, and just pick a LUT. Let's try Atlas. Boom. Now I go to Lightbox, and look at that. All my footage is done. Now, if I wanted to, I could come over here, go to my export preset, and I can literally add that to render queue, and I'm done. And you guys would probably be happy with that. But that's really how I color grade. It's the Infinity grades that allows you to take your Sony footage and just pop it in and call it a day. As you can see, these clips right here, they look perfectly fine. As long as you nail your exposure, you're good. Even on the darker clips. Look at that. Beautiful. All right, so let's go back to our reference frame, which I think was this one. Has a good group of highlights, shadows, and all that stuff. Now I will clean up this. I'll go Shift S. I'm going to add another node, and this is a group feature too. We're just doing this on all of the clips. We're going to click on glow, drag it to our clip, drag shine threshold all the way down, composite type, soft light, and then come into our keyer. The high soft will be 16. And you ready for this? Watch what happens. Boom. Add some contrast as well as some colors back in there. Now we're going to go to our Lightbox and take a look at what it did to the rest of our footage. And the rest of our footage now looks pretty good. The final step is just starting from the very beginning and then making sure all of your contrast and white balance is good to go. So it does look like there's some contrast happening. And it's probably because for this, I used a Pro Mist filter. So if that's the case, all of my footage is going to be like that. So I'm going to come over here, Shift S on the group clip, and then 1.1, 0.5. Bring my highlights down just by a tiny bit. and then 55. Just a little saturation. And I'll pull up my Lightroom. You see how it affects all of my clips. Now my contrast should be good just by looking at it. Yeah, that's fine. There's a white point right here. This is really cool. So again, we're on the group clip right here. I will do, let's do Option S and grab the white balance tool. Very subtle difference. Probably not noticeable. It's not noticeable to me, but it's not even showing up on the scopes here. But, you know, whatever. Beginning and just start going through. This one's pretty hot right here. So I'm going to bring down the gamma just a tiny bit, actually. And the highlights a tiny bit. Let's apply it to this one. Let's apply it here. Apply it there. Apply it there. Now I'm just pressing Command V to just paste it. Now the sky looks just a little off right here. So what I'm going to do for this clip is do a mask. I'm going to put it over our bird, invert it, and then just bring down the highlights. Just a little bit though. Soften it. Ooh, fix the sky. Maybe blur it out a little bit. All right, moving on. This looks good. Now, there's something cool you can do with shots like this that are basically locked off. So that's where it's going to be. I'm going to take my pen tool and just draw. Now I'm going to do this so I can see what I'm working with. I'll invert it, turn off the mask, and then soften it out. And I think that'll be fine right there. Just kind of make it a little bit bigger right there. Cool. Now I'll reset that. And then I'm going to bring down my highlights. And as you can see, that just pulls focus. Once you get your mask, you just click on these two little arrows and it's going to track it forward and backwards. And DaVinci Resolve moves pretty quickly, actually. As that's going, I can come back into iTunes, blast some Justin Bieber. All right, that's good to go. So our mask is now tracked, as you can see. And we have drawn attention to this area. We're moving on though. Good, good. This is a little dark. I think it just needs a tiny bit of shadows up. And I'm cool there. Copy. I did some contrast stuff here. So I played around with this little sun flare. I like this one. You know what? I actually think I'm going to bring up highlights here. Reset the shadows and then bring down gamma. I like that. There we go. Copy. This one's going to need some shadow work. So let's bring up the midtones for this one, or the gamma. And I'm okay there. Let's copy. Let's see here. Boom. This is Town Hall. That's fine. This is pretty harsh. Okay, so it's just one solid frame. So what I'm going to do here is stabilize it. And then the mask around the building. Boom, that pinpoint precision. There we go. We will soften it out, size it up, reset. Okay, now the sky is okay where it's at, but the building, I'm gonna bring it up and then add some contrast. Bring down the highlights. Look at that. Add a tiny bit more contrast. All right, moving on. See, this is clean. That's clean. It's pretty clean. Got a nice little boat here. Looks pretty good. This one is going to need the gamma brought down. And this one's really clean. All right, now let's look at our light box just to make sure everything looks consistent. And it does. Double check to make sure all your stuff is turned on. Now the final step, now that these are all done, will be to come into my delivery tab, Cinema Pro. It's the preset that I use to bring all this footage into Final Cut Pro X. When I do the rest of my trimming, a color space tag, gamma tag, that's what it is. There's going to be some controversy over that, I'm sure. And then I just make sure these two little things are checked on here. Now I will pick where I want to save it. Volume, Wilmington, create a folder, picture lock. And then open, add to render queue, and then render. And you're done. I have a deep affinity for historic downtown Wilmington. From the charming brick-lined streets to the beautifully preserved architecture, there's just something special about this place. It's a place where the past and the present intersect, and the result is a vibrant and welcoming community. Whether I'm strolling through the farmer's market on Saturday mornings or exploring the shops and galleries along Front Street, I always feel a sense of connection to the rich history of this city. Wilmington may be small, but it's full of character and culture. And I'm grateful to call Wilmington my home.